Well, good afternoon, everybody. We are so excited today to have one of our top beauty influencers that is here today to share some of her success secrets and what she considers to be non-negotiable when it comes to doing business. Welcome, Beth Garrett, all the way from Roanoke, Virginia. We're only what does it take me 3 hours to get to you, Beth?
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I got to come down there too. We're going to have to do another event together. But anyway, welcome, Beth. I am so glad that you're here today to share with our consultant. You look wonderful. I'm going to get that lighting that you have.
Thanks, Sharon. I'll send you a link.
Okay, good.
I'll send you later.
So anyway, so what's a typical day like for you
A typical day?
when you're doing your business? Yeah.
Well, you know what? I do all kinds of things, so I don't know that I have a typical day. I have what I learned is that you can't just do one thing to be successful. You have to do lots of different things.
Okay.
You have to come at it from different angles. I go to network meetings. I have about 3 groups that I am involved in. And even though the members of those groups may not buy from me, I make connections through them who have been successful. Like I met someone who works for a children's theater, and they do coaching for actors. And as soon as all this COVID-19 stuff lightens up, they've invited me to come speak to their group. So that's something I would have never thought of, but it's a connection I made. I met a lady in a networking group who works for a bank, and she said, you know what, I'm looking for a really great team and a unique team building exercise for my tellers at the bank. So, and we were scheduled in March, but of course we're waiting until everything calms down. We'll reschedule. So you got interesting things come up that you normally wouldn't think of when you get out and start meeting people and making connections and talking to people.
And are the groups, have you found that joining a group is the best way, or do you do the networking, let's say that you're just out and about as an individual, and let's say you're in a restaurant or whatever, do you talk to individuals and network that way, or do you find it easier to do it in a more structured environment?
In a more structured group, because when you're in a more structured group, and remember, that's what you're there for, to promote your business. You know, when you're out in the public, it's like hit or miss. Somebody may or may not be interested, but if you join a networking group, people are obligated, the other members, especially if you're in a group where you're paying dues or something, then the other members are obligated to help you get referrals, and you are supposed to be helping give them referrals too. And you can have groups that are like more casual and some that actually track business. I'm a member of both types. And I've shared with you before, there's a group, Fem City. It's a national organization. You should see if you've got one in your local town, because this one is more casual and it's about meeting people, and it's up to you to make that connection with them. So it's not tracking business, but it gives you opportunities to meet other entrepreneurs, other business women. Of course, since women are primarily our target market.
Yes.
The other groups are like structured where you give referrals to each other. So you're out actively supporting other people's businesses, and they're supporting yours. And like if I have a friend who wants to buy a house, I've got a real estate agent, a mortgage broker, and an insurance person in this group I can send a referral. If they know someone who needs skincare or beauty products, or want to improve their image, then they would refer to me. So both, they're both different concepts, but they both work. Just depends on how much time and effort you want to put in it.
Okay, so that's great. So networking groups you would consider to be a path forward for a person to be building their business.
Yes, and I also would like to add, so I guess this could be number 1.
Yes.
Connections, because after you sign up, you're all excited, you're now a beautypreneur, then after you go through your family and friends, then you're like, okay, so what do I do now?
Now what? Yeah.
Yeah, how am I going to get, because then it occurs to you, I'm going to have to start finding people I don't really know. So some of the things I did was like, at my church, I was plugged in with our ladies Bible study group. I asked and invited them all to come to my house for a presentation. 18 women came. I served refreshments, gave them a presentation about how they can use color to look their best. And I got 13 appointments out of that, which was phenomenal.
That is.
13 out of 18 women booked appointments with me. I joined the Chamber of Commerce, and I got invited to go to the Rotary Club to give a presentation to the members because they saw me on the list and what I found out is organizations, community organizations are always looking for speakers.
Mm-hmm.
And usually if you can get in front of a crowd, you can get some appointments from speaking engagements. Also, the Women's Garden Club saw me on the list for the Chamber of Commerce, and they invited me the last 2 years to come speak at their fashion show that they have at the Garden Club. So you just never know what type of opportunities are going to come out of making connections and joining groups. But my husband and I are also in a dance community, and there's a lot of women, older women, which is our kind of my target market.
Your target.
My target, 55 and older.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first started, some of you all may appreciate this, I didn't feel like I could charge them for a color analysis because I really didn't have that expertise. I had gone through the training. So what I did is I started getting on the phone and I started messaging these women saying, hey, guess what? I went and did this training, and would you let me practice on you? I need to hone my skill. And do you know, I did it for complimentary for probably about 50 women. And and probably out of 50 women, 48 of them bought something. Wow. Most of them were thrilled. They bought their palettes. And I can't believe how many glamour kits I sold. I mean, I was just, and I guess that's what kind of convinced me that I really should start a business out of this, because most of these women probably had a color analysis back in the day, but then they didn't realize that things have changed over time. Yeah. And they need to do it again. So that was a surprise to them because it hadn't occurred to them as, maybe I need to do this again. So that's kind of my mission right now, is to re-educate women who did it 15 to 30 years ago that it's time for another one. So that's been very successful for me to get that education and that point out to women, because they're like, oh yeah, my hair has changed. Okay. I have women come and sit in front of me, and it's all I can do to keep from laughing. They're sitting there going, I'm a winter, and there they are with gold hair or red hair. Like, yeah, I don't think so.
Right. I love it.
Boy, are you going to be surprised?
Right. Surprise. I love it. So that's awesome. So the networking, the practice sessions, that sounds like, because that is transferable, whether you're doing color analysis or whether you are promoting just skincare or color cosmetics. So that's awesome. So that's two key things. Is there anything else that you feel would be almost like a non-negotiable? Because those all seem to be strategic for me, and it's duplicatable. I mean, because all of us could be doing exactly what you did, when you started.
I think that most women, if they don't feel like that you're inviting them to come over to sell them something, and you don't use a salesy technique on them, I'm just like, you know what, I got this stuff. If you're interested in it, I've got some of this stuff. Just, if you're interested, you are. If you're not, you're not. When I first, if I'm asking somebody to come, that's kind of how I treat it. Now, if they call and make an appointment with me, I might be a little bit more okay, well, this is this cost, and that sort of thing. But if I'm asking them as a favor to come over, I don't really try to push a sale. But I'm very surprised that most women will buy something.
Well, yeah, because when they see that what you've done has enhanced, it's, we've always said, it's not about us, it's about them, what's in it for them. And when you provide a service and then they leave, or when they look in that mirror before they started with you and after, and they see the transformation, how can you not want to be able to take a piece of that home with you?
Right. And I'll do I'll take my phone and I'll do a before picture on them. And then I'll do an after picture and I'll text them both pictures so that and I've actually noticed that several of the women that I gave them their after picture, they actually made my picture their profile picture on Facebook.
See?
So I noticed several women have done that
Yeah.
after they had a session with me.
So that's
nice
a compliment. Yeah, that's a testimony for you and elevating your image. Okay.
It is.
So
look for groups.
Yeah.
Look for groups to speak to. At least, you don't even have to say, oh, I want to do your all's color analysis. Hey, let me just come speak to you. Let me just show you what phone information that I have.
That you can share. I love it. I love it. I love it. So is there anything that you feel like, that you've seen, because you've got a team, you've got people that you've actually that you're mentoring and that you've brought in. Have you seen any practices that you would tell somebody, don't do that?
I think that I would stay away from saying, well, you know what, I would never do that.
Okay.
I need, before you, I guess while you're learning and you're getting started, I think you need to keep an open mind.
Open mind.
Because I've seen people, like a couple of ladies I talked to, like, well, I'm never going to sell the makeup. I'm just going to do skincare.
Okay.
And I keep thinking, and then when I talk to them, I'm like, okay, so let's just kind of talk about that, because you should try it yourself, and I can walk you through it, because you're kind of missing an opportunity here to have some more revenue. You may not think you're interested in it, but let's try it. Let's, never say never.
Yeah. And that almost ties into what you had said, that was one of your strategies, is that you don't push, you make it where, you don't have to buy anything. I'm just wanting to show you what it is. And I think that's probably the biggest fear that a lot of entrepreneurs have when they come into a business like we have, is that they don't like the sales side of it and don't want to appear to be pushy. I hear that quite often. Yeah. So, but that's great. I love your studio. I love the lighting that you have. So you really you represent your craft very well. And I can see why you have, set yourself apart from just a typical consultant, because you are taking all of the best practices, I think, that you have just learned in life and in business, and you are applying them now to your own business, which is great.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So thank you for sharing.
I got one more thing to share.
Okay, I love it.
So it is extremely important that you stay in front of your client. If you are out of sight, you're out of mind.
Oh, yeah. And
in the very beginning, I was writing down, like on my little sales sheet, I was capturing email addresses, but I wasn't doing anything with it. And probably after about 2 to 3 months, it occurred to me that I need to go back, or I need to stay in touch with these women. So if you haven't been collecting contact information, especially the email address, you really need to do that. And if you've got clients, I would go ahead and back up. And if you didn't get that information, make an effort to do it.
To do it, absolutely.
And you need to be creating a distribution group so that you can stay in touch with them. Because I have noticed that, like, I will do and plus you got the social media presence. Like I said, you can't just rely on one thing. I do the social media, I do an email, I know I need to be on Instagram. I just haven't had time to do it, but you're going to have multiple avenues to reach your target market. And so what I do now is, when I do my videos on Monday or Tuesday, whenever I do them, then that night I will send out an email to all my clients, because some of them are not on Facebook, and basically go over the same concept of what I did in the video, and give a link to the video so they can watch it, and my website and information about a sale or the product that was featured. So I'm trying to get them from both sides. But when I was surprised that, like last year, I sent out an email about age spots. And at that time, I was promoting the papaya cleanser and the toner and the vitamin C and whatever, the moisturizer. Just that one email, I got like 6 sales.
Wow.
You know, which it hit home. Age spots did.
Right. Yes.
So so every now and then something will really resonate. You'll get several, but most of the time I can get 1 or 2 sales on at least any email I send out. But you're still staying in
contact, right?
And then sometimes they wait till they come see me, and they'll say, "Oh, by the way, I saw that video or I saw that email. Throw that in while I'm here."
Gotcha.
So you never know when it's going to pay off, because it could be later. Because like I did my updates last week or 2 weeks ago, and one of the ladies just called me today and say, "Oh, I've just been frazzled. I haven't had time to sit down. This is what I want. Do you have it?"
Wow.
So, you know, you can get them after the fact. So.
After the fact, yeah. So that's awesome. So communication is key in whatever form, whether it's texting, emailing, social media. Yeah.
You and I were just talking about Zoom. I need to do. I think working on right now. I really think we have a great opportunity with Zoom to put ourselves out there to do virtual consultations, especially with skincare. You can stick some samples in the mail to somebody. The other day, somebody ordered something, and I put her a whole bunch of samples of, she ordered skincare because somebody mentioned to her that they loved our skin correction cream. So she contacted me, wanted samples. I mailed them to her. Then she put $100 and some order in. After I mailed this to her. Then she said, "Well, let me try some of your cosmetics." So I dropped them by her house, and she's going to call me. We're going to do a Zoom and go over all her cosmetics. So now you can do, so I think we need to be promoting that. And if you're not familiar with Zoom, trust me, it's easy peasy. It's very simple. And Zoom offers for you to do a free account. And you can have up to 40 minutes. Now, it'll cut you off at 40 minutes with the free account. I went ahead and paid, it's like $14.99.
$14.99 for
a month, only because I take longer with what I'm doing. But if you could really easily in 30 minutes do a quick little consultation with somebody, if you don't want to invest any money and you're on a budget. But Zoom would be a great tool to start getting in touch with your clients.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if you watched the Wine About It Wednesday that Lucinda and Sarah do, but I was like, I called Sarah today. I said, "What platform are you using for that?" Because again, I was looking at the split screen and wanted to do it. And she was saying that they were using Be Live. Now, I hadn't heard of that.
Me either. I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah. So, but check it out. The great thing about us in this business is that if I know it, you know it. And if you know it, I'll know it. And then we share it, because there's so much happening out in the world of digital that we just need to be open to trying new things. And when you try them, you may find one works better than the other, and that's okay. But we have to be open to change, and we have to be open to the virtual world today.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
So, at any rate, Beth, you are amazing. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule.
Sure.
And have an awesome weekend. And
you too,
I'm going to share this with everybody. All right?
Okay.
Thank you. Stay beautiful. Bye.
Bye.